Alright, guys, I'm back with another chapter in Psalms. We're in Psalms chapter 74, where it reads, "A plea for God to help his people defend his cause and remember his promises. When we feel devastated or forgotten, we can ask God for help, knowing that he hears." We're going to just jump right into chapter 74. "O God, why have you rejected us so long? Why is your anger so intense against the sheep of your own pasture? Remember that we are the people you chose long ago, the tribe you redeemed and as your own special possession. No, the tribe you redeemed as your own special possession. And remember Jerusalem, your home here on earth. Walk through the awful ruins of the city. See how the enemy has destroyed your sanctuary. Your enemies shouted their victorious battle cries. There they set up their battle standards. They swung their axes, like woodcutters in a forest, with axes and picks. They smashed the carved paneling. They burned your sanctuary to the ground. They defiled the place that bears your name. Then they thought, let's destroy everything. So they burned down all the places where God was worshipped. We no longer see your miraculous signs. All the prophets are gone, and no one can tell us when it will end. How long, O God, will you allow our enemies to insult you? Will you let them dishonor your name forever? Why do you hold back your strong right hand? Unleash your powerful fist and destroy them. You, O God, are my king from ages past. Bring salvation to the earth. You split the sea by your strength and smash the heads of the sea monsters. You crush the heads of Leviathan and let the desert animals eat him. You caused the springs and streams to gush forth, and you dried up rivers that never run dry. Both day and night belong to you. You made the starlight and the sun. You set the boundaries of the earth, and you made both summer and winter. You see how these enemies insult you. Lord, a foolish nation has dishonored your name. Don't let these wild beasts destroy your turtle doves. Don't forget your suffering people forever. Remember your covenant promises, for the land is full of darkness and violence. Don't let the downtrodden be humiliated again. Instead, let the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, O God, and defend your cause. Remember how these fools insult you all day long. Don't overlook what your enemies have said, or their growing uproar." That is the end of chapter 74, and I can't help but think of one of the, what would it be, YouTube short or TikTok, and it's about a depiction of God having this conversation with a man who is upset that God allows evil to persist, and just exist in its own nature. And the reflection that this content creator has is that you think that in me battling evil, what makes you think that I wouldn't start with you? What makes you think that if I was to get rid of all evil, that I wouldn't start with wiping you off the face of the earth? And I love that so much because it puts it in perspective to the enemies that we have. When he calls us to love our enemy, I mean, they're one softened heart away from being a brother or a sister. And that's really the truth of it. Every single enemy you've ever had in your entire life, whether they were believers and simply just struggling, or non-believers and just waiting for that moment for God to shine through. Maybe God allowing you to endure their onslaught is what softens their heart. And now we don't ever want to have to endure these things, and I don't know God's will. I can't proclaim to know that, and not even for my own life. But man, sometimes when he's teaching us, we might not even realize he's teaching someone else through our suffering, through our pain. And I think sometimes, especially in the Bible, there's so often that they're praying against their enemy, and they're saying, "Hey, strike these people down, kill these people, get rid of these. Hey, drop your right hand on them." This whole thing, and a lot of times we should be on that side of the wrath as well. And because of grace and because of love, we're not. And so in our own frustration, we want to see who we think the bad guys are taken out, when really we're the bad guys too. We just are on the right side. And he loves us, even though we are bad. And so much of us complaining about other people is simple perspective. And it's just, sometimes that perspective's wrong on our part. It's like God's got a rescue mission for everybody. And it's only their choice not to join him. He wants them to pick. He wants them to choose him out of love and appreciation. Maybe even a little bit of fear too. But he gives them so many opportunities. When we get to Judgment Day, no one's going to be able to say, I didn't know. I had no idea. No, they will all have made their decision and just simply decided, I didn't want any part. And sometimes the suffering of God's people is the weighing that out, the giving that time. And man, do I want them to have that time. Why? Sometimes it means my suffering, but my goodness, I needed that time. And so I'm not so proud to think that, oh, now that I'm on the side of right, because I'm not always. I fall short all the time. I want those people to have what I had and what I still have. When I mess up, there's a chance for God to come get me. And that's a daily thing. So while I can appreciate him praying for protection and don't let these wild beasts destroy your turtle doves, don't forget you're suffering people forever. Those beasts are one broken heart away from being a turtle dove. And God knows that. And you can't ask him to squander potential out of your current frustration. Because that's really what it boils down to. Say, hey, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Get rid of them. And while I understand why they would say that, and while you might think that that's just, and while they might be blaspheming God, we were all on that side. Sometimes we find ourselves, even in our walk with God, sometimes we find ourselves on that side. God of selfishness or stubbornness, whatever it might be. And so I often see that unanswered prayers are answered prayers. And that's it's such a frustrating process. But the more I continue to pursue answers, the more I just laugh about my own predicaments and just wanting to keep loving people everywhere, loving everybody. And so that's the end of chapter 74 of Psalms. I'll read chapter 75 where it reads, because God is the final judge, the tables will be turned upon the wicked. When arrogant people threaten our security, we can be confident that God will ultimately overrule and destroy them. Have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 75. Have a good night, guys.